Hey, welcome back. Are you ready for a bourbon burner series? This is going to be a good one. I love pork ribs, baby backs. So these are St. Louis style cut ribs. I am going to be doing them 4 ways. A control, benchmark the normal bourbon I use, Woodford Reserve double oaked on a different one, and Baker's 7, Beam Suntory's Baker's 7 on a third one. So what I want to do here is figure out, is there a difference or is it fine just to use benchmark on everything? So let's get right to it. Hey, welcome back to the Bourbon Bounty Kitchen. We're going to do some ribs, pork ribs, and I'm going to do them 4 ways. 1 as a control, and 3 with 3 different types of bourbon. I'm going to use the benchmark like I normally do with all the recipes, but I want to see if it's going to make a difference if I use these others. Now we are going to sous vide these. If you're going to sous vide pork ribs, it takes forever, okay? So you have to get these in a day ahead of time. It's gonna be 24 hours at 141 degrees, all right? So before we get started, let's go ahead and start dividing these up. So 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna do 3 because this is a big end. So I'm gonna do, oops, did I get right on the rib? Nope, I missed it, but barely. There we go. I'll do 3 ribs here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There we go. 3 ribs. Now they're angled on me. Let's see. That is a rib and that is a rib. There we go. It's kind of giving me some problems here. Now for these, I'll do 4 and 4 because they're smaller. Yeah, do this end piece, and I'm going to use this end piece over here as my control because I know these are going to be fantastic. So let me wash my hands because this next step, these are very, very simple ribs. I'm going to put a little salt and pepper, but mostly it's brown sugar and bourbon, and that's it. So just a little bit. I know I just washed my hand, but oh, do you like that? Okay. Just on the top part, not the underneath side, just the meaty side. We're going to do a little salt, not a lot, just to pop the flavors, a little bit of pepper. Now we get messy because along with this goes a good layer of brown sugar, all right? So let me go ahead and get this out and start sprinkling it around and moving it all around on here and getting this rubbed in really well. You can use your favorite seasoning if you want, but just remember a lot of them have you know, they have little peppers in there, maybe some cayenne or something, but a lot of them have brown sugar in them as well. They're a little bit sweet. Depends on what rib rub you use, but this is just one of my favorites to do, especially with bourbon, because bourbon has a sweet note to it anyway. So I want to enhance that with this brown sugar. You know, last time when we did the pork, I did the honey, and you know, you can get honey flavor. So I'm going to finish these off. All right, I have them all coated in brown sugar, and you can see it's already melting in. The meat was left out a little while. I always recommend doing that. Leave it out for 20-30 minutes. Let it kind of warm up from the refrigerator, and it starts to get moist, and those seasonings soak in so much better. Now, all we have to do now is start with our sealer. I'm gonna move this knife over. I won't need it anymore. So let me pull out, again, I'll put a smaller size bag in for these. So again, I'm gonna pull out a little bit extra so I can clip it to the top of the sous vide. And then I'm going to go on ahead and just hit seal. All right, now I have my bags ready, and now I'm going to tell you why. I know I've said this a couple of times that there's a smooth side and a rough side on these bags. The smooth side, I always say I put it in so I can slide the meat and the seasonings won't come off. Well, now we're going to figure out what the rough side's for. Okay, the rough side is to protect the bag from puncture against bones. So this time I want the rough side down, and when I put these in, I'm going to put them meat side up, bone side down, and slide them into the bag. That way, if there's any piece of the bone that may be a little bit sharp on the underneath side, it'll be okay. All right, I got the cutting board out of the way. Now we're ready to put the bourbon in these, and I have a tablespoon here, and it really doesn't matter. The bourbon's just gonna go in and it's going to get pushed into the meat. It doesn't have to be directly on top of the meat. This is a wet dry sealer, so it will work. For this one, this is the big end piece. These all three look very similar, so I'm not really going to worry about it, but I am going to put the benchmark on this meaty one here. And about just shy of a tablespoon. I didn't go all the way to the lip with it, but I'll do them all the same. Now with this, I'm just going to pour it on there. It's going to run over the side of it. I'm also going to not rinse the spoon off because I don't want it to water down. I'm going to just go ahead and do Baker's over here. All right. Just shy of the lip. Pour that over. Then let's do the Woodford Reserve double oaked. Just shy of the same amount in all of them. Boy, that's a darker bourbon there. Sweeter too. I'm excited to see what that's going to taste like. All right, now we're done with that. Okay, let me cap this. And I will be right back. Had to get my pen because I have to remember which one. This is benchmark. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these before I move them. So this is and this one is Baker's 7. And this one Woodford Reserve double oaked. All right, and while I was doing that, I got sticky on my hand. Now all there's left to do is seal this off, seal all of these bags, and my control just won't have anything written on it. And once I get that done, I'm gonna get my CV started and I'll meet you back here. All right, it just beeped. It's on its way to 141. Gonna put these in here. Got a few clips for this one. Let's get this bag down in there. And again, I use these chip clips to hold them in place. I'm gonna use this long one because I'm gonna put 2 of them on that one clip. This is the control. All right, we'll do it like, get it all the way down in the water. Make sure they're submerged. And then we'll do this one. And again, we're doing these for 24 hours. They're supposed to fall off the bone. So we'll see. Clip this one. The clips just hold it in place, make sure they don't float up, and they stay submerged all the way in the water so that that water can circulate all around them. So 24 hours from now, I'm not gonna record in here again. Same thing as like reverse searing. I'm gonna set this oven to 500 degrees on broil. I'm gonna move the rack up and I'm gonna put them under there for 7 minutes under the broiler as soon as they're done here, and then I'll meet you back in the studio. All right, guys. These smell absolutely amazing. They've been sitting here about 5 minutes. Pulled them out of the broiler. I will tell you the broiler is, if you go at 500, go 5 to 7 minutes. But if your broiler is at 550, back that time off. I got a little burnt spot on my control. Other than that, they have a beautiful sear on the outside. They went for 24 hours in the sous vide at 141 degrees. I put them in there and let them just sear like crazy. You can see the bone coming out over here. I mean, these are just, look at that. The bone will just come right out. I'm gonna try the control first. And also, this was very involved. So my control has no toothpick, has no color on the paper. The benchmark is green, has a green toothpick. I colored the end of the toothpick green. Woodford Reserve Double Oaked has the red one, and the Baker 7 has the blue toothpick. So that's how I kind of kept them straight, all right? So let me cut off of the control. Oh, and wow, look at that. That is beautiful. All right. The control's good. It's missing something. You know, the sugar and all is good. It crusts up really nice, you know, in that broiler. I'm trying to daintily eat these because I'm filming. Normally I would just pick these up and gnaw on them. I don't think you want to watch me do that. All right, the control's fine. It's really tasty, but let's get into the benchmark. Now benchmark, as you know, if you've seen my videos, it's what I normally cook with because it's a $10 bourbon with good base bourbon notes. But let's see what it did for the ribs. Oh my gosh. That is so good. It just brings out that meaty flavor so well. Now, more expensive bourbon. We're going $10 up to probably Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, about 60 bucks for a bottle of bourbon. So let's try this and see. Now, it was only a tablespoon, so it's not like I just wasted a bunch of bourbon. If it didn't do anything, it's just a little in the bag. Wow, that is good. Now, what did the Baker 7 do? Oh wow, look at the juice running out of these things. These things are incredibly juicy and tender. All right, Baker 7. Wow, these are distinctly different, but at the same time, it's very subtle. I will say, I think out of these, I like the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked better. Let me try it one more time. And then I'm gonna go back to the control. Or not the control, but the benchmark. That is very, very good right there. I think with just a tablespoon. Now, of course, if you did a whole rack like this, you would need 4 tablespoons of whatever bourbon you're going to use. 1 tablespoon for each bag. But that is very good. That Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Now the benchmark again. This one, I think, was probably the best. Now, I didn't want to just try a whole bunch. I mean, I may try this with different bourbons, but I think it needs there's Woodford Reserve is sweeter anyway. It's on the sweet side of bourbon, and those dark notes in Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, I think comes out well with these ribs. The Baker's 7, let me try it again just to make sure, because I think it's good, but it's not as good. All right, I think with this recipe, Woodford Reserve Double Oaked wins. But I'm gonna go get a little Q sauce and finish these ribs because I'm starving, because I didn't get these in till late yesterday. Luckily we had time fall back, and so by 24 hours it was, it caught up with me. So it's absolutely just past my lunchtime. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Again, Woodford Reserve Double Oak's the winner here. These are fabulous, fall apart ribs. Can't do any better than the Sous Vide. But as always, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell down there for notifications, and I promise I'll keep bringing you these videos.